But I feel like the combination of those three opinions just makes you a fucking enigma when it comes to what does Jazz think about these movies.
I got rebuttals for that ass about that wanted shit though. So
I know you love it. I watched it with you, and I don't think it's a terrible movie. But I'm also a person who can enjoy movies and on record as being someone who, like I just said earlier, I'm more of a movie enjoyer than I am a film enthusiast. I am the reason that good movies don't exist more frequently. I'm part of the problem. I enjoy stupid turn your brain off movies. So yes, Wanted was fine. No, apparently not, unless it's Wanted.
Fuck out of here. That's the ones. Fuck you.
X-Pac!
I guess, maybe.
You think you can tell it what to do? Yeah.
Apparently, it's make some noise, and it never was X-Pac. I don't know.
It's X-Pac.
And then also, that's not even that wasn't even a catchphrase, so I had to slightly cheat anyway.
How about excuse me?
Yeah, okay. We'll see when I get to E if I decide to use that anyway.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can have.
No offense, but all offense, Vicky Guerrero.
What's wrong with Vicky Guerrero?
Well, I mean, I ain't introduced the show yet, but no, there's nothing wrong with Vicky Guerrero as a person or anything like that. But if you want me to get into Vicky Guerrero's talent, I'll let you know what's wrong with it the second I find it. Anyway, what's going on, everybody?
You can't find anything wrong with it. You are correct. Indeed. What is going on, everybody?
I'll let you know what's wrong with it the second I find her talent. I'll let you know what's the problem is. All right. What's going on, everybody? This is the Whatever We Want podcast. And I am your boy. I go by the name of Jazz or Superjaz.
Superjaz.
As intended by nature.
As intended by nature. Instead of as nature intended.
I wasn't gonna actually spell it out so people I'm just fucking with you. Anyway, I go by the name of Jazz, Superjaz, SJ, JT, whatever you want, what have you in the like. And like I said, this is the Whatever We Want podcast. But I am not the only host of the show. I am also joined by my friend.
Y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube. And I'm doing good as well, buddy.
And you also referred to as Pete on this show.
Every once in a while. Not as much as early on.
I don't know. I guess I probably switched it up just because I've been hearing other people not say it as much. I don't know why. You know what? I might just call you Pete for the entirety of this show, just to be a dickhead. Anyway, and yes, everybody, as I said, the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that. We talk about whatever we want. We do not lead this conversation. This conversation leads us, and we let these chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday.
Or we let these chips fall where they could.
In the neighborhood.
Or we let these chips fall where they can.
From New York to Japan.
Okay. Or we let these chips fall where they happen.
No.
No, that's just a no. I was waiting for I was waiting for you to say like I did with the last episode. Shout out to Bill. With every win good. Like I was, like when I was doing that.
You were the one that kept going every win tripping. Whatever. You kept adding. You're like every win dapping stands.
Dapping stands and every win dossable.
Yeah. I was just like, before I say something along the lines of happen, I was just like, No.
Everyone good. Everyone Dan. Everyone Devin. Everyone other fucker. Anyway.
Well.
You let these chips fall where they motherfucker. Anyway, do you have anything that you would like to throw out there for us, dear sir?
I think it's crazy that LeBron James is in a fighting game.
What fighting game is King James in?
In Warner Brothers' Multiversus.
And is this an actual fighting game, or is this like some fan-made stuff?
Well, for one, it's Warner Brothers' game, so it's not fan-made. Two, it's, you know what Smash Brothers is?
Yeah, of course.
It's like that, but with Warner Brothers characters.
Because Nickelodeon came out with the Nickelodeon Smash, or not Smash, Nickelodeon All-Stars, which was a fucking Super Smash Brothers ripoff.
And so is Multiversus.
But it's all Warner Brothers.
But it's Warner Brothers, and people that can be very loosely tied to Warner Brothers, like Superman. So if you want to have Superman fight Tom and Jerry with LeBron James from Space Jam 2, now you can. And the Iron Giant can make an appearance as well.
Iron Giant was Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers enough. He's in the damn game.
I thought the Iron Giant was... No, I just thought the Iron Giant was DreamWorks all this time.
He may be. I don't fucking know. I know it was a movie that everybody loves.
Have you seen it? You've never seen the Iron Giant?
I saw it. I saw it when I was younger. I don't remember liking it as much as everybody else.
Really? Not that you have to like it. I'm just surprised.
I know it's a classic.
Would I call it a classic? I don't know if I would necessarily call it a flat-out classic, but if other people did, I would not question them calling it a classic.
Fair enough. It has been mentioned on my other channel that I say classic way too often.
What other movies have you possibly called a classic, if you can remember? Have you possibly called classic that was like, is that a classic? Like, can you think of one on the top of your head?
Well, it got pointed out to me that I use the term classic a lot during my other channel. I have a thing that we mentioned with Bill last week, where it's this guy hasn't seen, where Bill and I have been trading movies from across our lives and stuff that one's seen and the other hasn't. When it came to Highlander and he was asking why I hadn't seen it, I was like, well, I know Highlander's has been considered a classic by most, but I never got around to see it. He's like, so is classic just mean old movie to you? Because the Highlander original film, at least, or its sequels, are not technically good movies. But they have a giant, for me, I knew they had a giant cult following. I knew there was a TV show, and I remember liking the theme song from the TV show.
I remember that's another theme song as a kid that you would sing all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, apparently, like, y'all were like, you and my brother Ibn, y'all were always like, this is from Highlander. And my young self, I was like, well, apparently Highlander exists, because I had never
really watched
really
watched the TV show. I knew the main character's name was Duncan MacLeod or something like that. Okay. And you cut off motherfuckers' heads and get their powers, and there's lightning and shit. Also, they involved immortals.
That was everything young you needed, shit.
Exactly, which it was surprising that I didn't watch the show more often, but I knew of its existence, and I knew that it was based off of a movie as I grew up. I knew it was based off of a movie and all of this stuff, so I was like, yeah, it's a classic. It's the Highlander. Everybody knows Highlander. It's like, this is not that good a movie to be considered a classic. I'm like, well, it has a giant following, and I guess for me, old and giant following equals classic enough.
Right, so you don't necessarily mean
this is
classic. No, but I mean classic by your standards. You just like, oh well, of course everybody calls this a classic, whether I do or not. Everybody has to call it a classic.
Mm-hmm. Or just like it's remembered fondly by its fans. I don't know. I don't really have a definition for classic so much as
classic is so loose.
It pops in my head to describe things.
Classic is so loose when it comes to not just like movies, but like TV shows and anything in pop culture, like albums, songs. Classic is so loose and it's so overused, and not by you, by every damn body, that it's hard to like really pinpoint. Sometimes, like, there's some stuff where it's like, okay, that's like Thriller by Michael Jackson. Like, obviously that's a fucking classic. But there's some shit where it's like, but there's
calm down, people.
But there's some stuff where it's like, is that a classic?
Is Bloodsport actually a classic movie, or is it a cult classic? You should see it.
Really?
Yes.
It's like a movie of just like everybody just whooping everybody's ass.
There's a lot of whooping ass. It's a kumite. You familiar with the concept of a kumite?
Not at all.
All right. All right. So, if you're not familiar with the concept of a kumite, I won't keep using the term kumite. I don't want to throw out a definition for the word kumite and be wrong. So I'll just tell you what the movie essentially is. It's a tournament held it's an underground fighting tournament held to see who's got the best fighters in the world. And Jean-Claude Van Damme's character, Frank Dukes, I believe, goes over there, leads the military to go and fight in this kumite. And you got people from all over the world with different fighting styles from all over the world, where they fight either to submission or to the death. Preferably until one person can't fight anymore and like says, nah, I'm done. But if you die, you die. And the movie is just 80s. It's an 80s film to the max. I'm not going to sit here and be like it's a traditional classic, but it's definitely a cult classic. And there you go. Also, a lot of things from Street Fighter 2 / Mortal Kombat were based off of that movie.
Borrowed from that shit.
Like they pretty much used that movie for inspiration. It's heavily implied that Guile is based off of Frank Dukes.
I was just about to say, of course, that was back when Jean-Claude Van Damme was in like every other like action movie.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's just funny that Street Fighter 2 apparently saw Guile, American soldier that goes to fight in a tournament, and they went, you know what, let's do that. Or they saw Frank Dukes, American soldier that fights in the tournament, so let's do that with Guile. And then later when they do Street Fighter the movie, they're like, well, fuck it, we took inspiration from Frank Dukes to make Guile, so let's just have Frank Dukes play Guile. Also, Bloodsport is loosely, I'm going to say loosely, based on a true story of the actual Frank Dukes who did this. But no proof that this actually is a true story aside from the man's, testimony himself, because it's secret underground fighting.
So there was actually some dude named Frank Dukes.
There's a guy named Frank Dukes, D-U-X. And yes, he claims he went to a kumite underground in China or something, and he fought, or Taiwan, I forget exactly where it was, and he did it, and he fought in it numerous times, and he was like undefeated. He's just that dude. But the main villain of the movie, this guy named Chong Li or whatever his name is godlike.
Chong Li.
Chong
Li. Well,
awesome.
I mean, I'm just saying, you talking about like inspiration for Street Fighter, Chong Li. I mean, what does that even just sound like?
Oh, like Chun-Li.
That's the first thing I thought of when you said his name. It sounds
I'm not
just
gonna
like
lie, I didn't think of her once, but that's because he looks nothing like her.
He probably looks and acts nothing like her, but the name sounds
just a big.
So
he's
similar.
like a 6'7" muscular ass Asian dude with a deep voice and just like, I will fuck you up. It's like, Jesus Christ. Brick no hit back. Oh, because Frank Dukes does some weird thing with his martial arts where he breaks like some brick in a cool fashion. He's like, cool trick, but brick no fight back. Like, oh, there. Yeah. But no, it's got a lot of stereotypes, but so does Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. That doesn't necessarily make them wrong, because it's not saying hate them because they fall into this stereotype. It's just saying, hey, you can tell this person's from this country because insert something here from their culture.
Mortal Kombat, not as much as Street Fighter, but Street Fighter, fuck yeah. Yeah. Street Fighter has the stereotypes. Like,
I think of the Street Fighter stereotypes, the only one I can really call straight up offensive is Blanca. Because, yes, go to Brazil where you have your lightning monkey man. That's about the only one I can call offensive.
I didn't think about it exactly like that.
If people may want to say Balrog's offensive because he's ugly, but if he looked better, no one would say Balrog was offensive because he's a black dude that boxes, but he's also named after Mike Tyson in Japan, and Mike Tyson was a boxer.
I never would have said Balrog was offensive.
Some people like to say,
no, I'm saying because he's ugly.
Like that's the only thing. Like that's the only reason I would say he's offensive personally, and I wouldn't say he's offensive, but people may be like, "Oh, he's a black boxer. Oh, why all black people got to be boxers?" Be happy he's in the fucking game for one.
Like, two, that's what I would have thought is people would have said he's offensive because he had to be a boxer as a black dude.
Well, his name in Japan, the man's name is Mike Bison. Okay, they literally basing this off of Mike Tyson. Not necessarily saying all black people gotta box. They're saying Mike Tyson does. Now, if you want to talk about the fighting game community as a whole in the 90s, or not community, but the creators as a whole in the 90s, yes, it was very often that the black guy in the games was a boxer. You got Balrog, you got TJ Combo, you got Jax, who wasn't a boxer, but he had the metal arms and punched the shit out of you. And might as well had done it. He might as well have been a boxer because he had a very punch-based fight set. Just look at my arms. He didn't have the metal arms at first.
Yeah, he didn't.
But they got ripped off, and he lost them in between 2 and 3, and he needed new metal ones to replace his real ones.
It was such a nice touch to give him metal arms, though. Like, seeing Jax without metal arms just looks weird to see now because it's like that's Jax. It's just like
he's just like some black dude at that point.
some shirtless militant black man.
Yeah, and that's cool. Don't get me wrong, but the metal arms definitely made him stand out more.
And then you want to talk about TJ Combo. My first thought, right? You talk about TJ Combo, like, okay, black dude, he boxer or whatever in the fighting game. Killer Instinct is a Mortal Kombat ripoff anyway. So that's funny. Oh man.
I love Combo's music in those 90s games. Actually, I just love his theme music in general. It's just awesome. It's just very much product of its time. I'll just leave it at that.
I know that's Gaio. I'm being stupid.
Look at me in black. I'm boxer cause I'm black. I'll punch it in your face cause I'm black. I'm boxing and I'm black. No, it's not his theme.
That was you singing. That was you singing some stereotypical shit that Gaio thing.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm biggity black, and I'm
what
black,
movie is that from, huh, Pete?
It had Tommy Davidson. It's one of those black movies.
I've never seen the whole movie, but I know what movie it's from.
I saw the name of the movie a while back.
You want to talk about a movie that will probably have a cult following and is like not people don't widely say classic, but it might be classic, even though I haven't seen it. But it's a movie where the second I say the name of it, you're going to be like, I would have never gotten that.
Which one? Because I have seen the name of the movie before.
Fear of a Black Hat?
Fear of a Black Hat?
Fear of a Black Hat.
Fear of a Black Hat. That I would not have remembered that because I don't believe I've seen that movie either.
I told you would have been like, I would have never guessed that. That's what I'm saying, right? No, Fear of a Black Hat, it is a very, unknown. Some people saw it, but majority of people, especially now, would probably be like, the fuck ass movie. Again, I went looking for it because my dad loves it, and he's talked about it like he don't talk about it all the time. But when he has brought it up, he's remembered it finally. So I went looking for it over the years, but couldn't really find the shit. But Fear of a Black Hat, it was like one of those spoof type movies of the rap of the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm bliggity black, and I'm black, y'all, and all that shit.
Yeah, I've seen the thing, and it just looked. I'm bliggity black.
They were spoofing. I want to say Public Enemy. Because you know what.
I could definitely see that be a Public Enemy spoof.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm bliggity 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 bliggity. Now that is something anybody watching who gives a shit. That's something you might be able to at least find the clip on YouTube if you can't find it.
You can definitely find that clip on YouTube.
I'm blacker than black. It was a light skinned dude. What's his fucking name? Damn, I was gonna say Columbus Short, but it wasn't Columbus Short because Columbus Short wouldn't have been old enough like at that time. So I can't think of he looked like Columbus Short's dad. People who don't know who Columbus Short is like the fuck. But that was by Rusty Kundiev. Can you think of anything of note that Rusty Kundiev might have done that was much more popular?
Rusty Kundiev?
When you're busy dealing with groceries,
What is Siri trying to tell me?
That was me trying to look up the Black Y'all clip so I could see if I could recognize the actor.
It was light-skinned dude, right? Fear of a Black Hat.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I see CB4 on Black Y'all.
Was it CB4? I thought it was Fear of a Black Hat. They came out around the same time. CB4 is definitely more well known. Fear of a Black Hat. It might be CB4.
Yeah, CB4. I like how the first comment is, watches Black Panther once. I'm black, y'all. I'm black.
Okay, well, my bad, everybody, for misquoting. It was CB4, which came out around the same time, which was another spoof movie, in a sense, but I think it had more of a through line with it. CB4 definitely being more famous than Fear of a Black Hat. I think CB4 spoofed a little bit more on just flat out spoofing like gangster rap and NWA type shit.
Gotcha.
But if you find Fear of a Black Hat,
it's a good movie.
It was spoofing the rap at the time. Like I said, my dad loves it. I can't find it worth shit, man. What was I saying though? Right. But I still think they were spoofing Public Enemy because they were doing rappers in CB4 and he was another rapper.
I'm not taking that away from you. I was just I wanted to see if I recognized the actor, and I didn't. For some reason, I had Tommy Davidson stuck in my head as the guy doing that.
No, it wasn't Tommy.
I know it's not. Looking at it just now.
Obviously, you like Tommy Davidson. Chris Rock was the main character in CB4 too.
Oh, okay.
What was I gonna say? But no, going back to Fear of a Black Hat, which I thought that was. Fear of a Black Hat, like I said, was by Rusty Kundiev. Do you know anything else Rusty Kundiev did?
No.
Around that time?
No.
And that's Kundiev, Cundiff.
I figured that's how it was spelled, but no.
And that's Rusty. Or are you? I'm joking.
I know Rusty Shackelford.
I don't know who that is. We could probably put a pin in that if we remember. But Rusty Kundiev, I think he wrote. I'm not sure. Definitely directed Tales from the Hood.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember the director of that, but I know Tales of the Hood. Or Tales from the Hood.
Of course you do. We watched it when we were younger. I remember it scared the shit out of my ass. I should not have watched that shit as young as I did.
We should put that down.
But you said the best thing to do is just go to like super black movie.
Hey, I've only gone to one so far.
I will say this. Set It Off is a classic.
Yeah, I will agree.
And I will say that Tales from the Hood I would consider that a classic too. But that line is a little blurrier. Is like, is it a classic or not?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it. So,
do you remember the one about the vignette about the boy who was being abused and and he could crumple the paper up?
Yeah.
You remember his teacher on there, the light skinned guy that was his teacher?
Yeah.
That's Rusty Cundiff.
Okay.
So that was the director.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, Tales from the Hood, obviously, which was not just in name, but in a lot of how the movie conducted itself. What's the word? Inspired from Tales from the Crypt.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I say that it's more than just a movie and could be classic, although it's blurry, is because a lot of the vignettes are making, and the through line are making points and situations within the Black community, and it was talking about the issues of that time, which is funny that some of those issues are still relevant today. And each vignette dealt with that. And what's his name? Clarence Williams? Yeah.
I hope it is, because we both said it.
Well, yeah, but for the fact that we both said it makes me think that it would be him. But yeah, he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace to funeral parlor owner. Or, spoiler alert,
Just
the devil.
Funeral parlor owner. Come on now. That's all you had to say. What if I ended up using that? See, now it's spoilers. Now I can't use it.
Well, I said spoiler alert. And then as I'm like saying spoiler alert, you cutting me off from saying spoiler alert.
I'm trying to cut you off from giving the spoiler alert off.
Well, I don't know. I mean, when you hear this back, you can mute it out.
It's okay. I won't use it.
I'm saying when you hear this back, you can mute it out. I just won't use it
because it's been a while since I've seen it anyway. I don't remember how good it was.
Oh, well, you knew what I was going to say.
I knew what you were going to say. But we established that Bill watches the show.
You said you might use the movie, and you got a movie review show. So if he watches the show, and then the movie review show, and you might use the movie, then there's no point for y'all to use the movie because he knows what happened.
Yeah, I just won't use that movie.
So who is Rusty Shackelford?
Oh, Rusty Shackelford, I believe, is an alias for one Dale Gribble.
Okay, wait. Okay, my bad. Took me a second. I actually remember who that is. That was the dude that was crazy as hell and was too stupid to realize that his wife was cheating on him in King of the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Motherfucker couldn't look at his obviously Native American child with his white self and white wife and couldn't realize it wasn't his kid. That's funny. Couldn't be like John Redcorn, and it was like, really, you can't tell that.
Also, apparently there was a actual Rusty Shackelford that eventually showed up in an episode because Dale used that was his go-to alias, but apparently they had an episode where the real Rusty Shackelford shows up and like, hey.
Can you stop using my alias now? What'd you think about the show King of the Hill back in the day?
Back in the day, I didn't like it. As I got older, I liked it more. Probably because I understood the jokes a bit more. Now, it's a solid show. I think it's funny that allegedly in Japan, it's one of those shows that people argue whether or not they like the sub and dub version, kind of like we argue about anime.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Because of all the shows that I would think that they would be talking about the sub or dub of, I would not think King of the Hill would be one of those shows that's debated.
Well, obviously like they're not going to debate it for normal anime. Obviously they're going to prefer their voices.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, yeah. So you're gonna take an American, show and debate whether they like, Japanese subtitles on the English or just straight up dub it with English. Yeah, I mean, Japanese. I mean, but I'm just saying that's so funny that like of all the shows, for some reason, King of the Hill would have not been a show that I would have thought. Like I would have maybe thought SpongeBob would be a show that,
and it very well may be. I just remember hearing about the, and I said one of the shows, but I remember hearing the alleged about the arguments happening for it a couple of years ago, where they're like, no, I like the King of the Hill with subtitles because blah blah blah. No, the Japanese dub is better. Blah 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 blah. The same way we argue about dub and sub.
We argue about sub and dub over here, right? It's just because it's funny because it's like you don't think that that would be happening, but it's like why would it not be? Just because we talk about this shit like with their stuff doesn't mean that they wouldn't do it.
I just figured they would prefer Japanese regardless. English is kind of a boring language. Is it a hard language to learn? Yeah.
I was gonna say apparently if you are like a non-English, like native English speaker, apparently it is one of the hardest languages, if not the hardest language to learn.
To be fair, if you are a native English speaker, English is a hard language to learn.
It's facts.
We got, in theory, when you look at it objectively, it's a hard language to learn. I'll put it that way. Because it has all the stupid shit like silent letters and homonyms, or homophones rather. Where, read, read. Got all these words that are pronounced there.
Spelled the same way but pronounced differently.
Yeah, your.
Live live.
Live live. Yeah, live alive.
Oh shit! I have to sneeze. No, I don't. Maybe I do. I fucking hate that shit. I hate when you feel like you're about to sneeze, and then nothing happens. Because it's like I don't want to sneeze, but if you're gonna make me think I'm gonna sneeze, then fucking let me sneeze. It's like somebody being like, "Hey, I know you don't want me to do this. You didn't want me to do this, but I'm sorry. I gotta do this real quick. It's like, okay. I'm just playing. Like you, motherfucker." Anyway, no. The thing with English is like you said, because we also have like a lot of rules in the English language that end up getting broken anyway. Like we're supposed to be I before E except after C or some shit, but then eventually you'll have some word that'll come out that won't even fucking do that shit, and it's just
exactly.
And I don't like you have words like character. So CH is supposed to have the ch sound, but all of a sudden character is CH with a k. That's why I say it's one of the hardest languages to learn.
Yeah.
I think Chinese, I'm not sure if it's like Cantonese.
Was that THINCH?
Whatever you want it to be.
I'm gonna spell it with a CH now.
Or like shit, like words like which. But am I talking about WITCH or WHICH?
I don't know which word you're talking about.
Exactly. I could be a witch the way I just randomly conjured it up.
Oh my god. All right.
You're not gonna share that? I was gonna let you figure it out and then be like, and what happened?
Nah, don't worry about it.
Okay. What was I about to say anyway? What was I talking about? What was I talking about before we did the whole which and all this?
I forgot which. So who, what, when, where, how, and why. I always forget about which.
Which is not part of that.
But it's a question word.
But it's not part of those 5 W's and H.
Oh, why not? Who decided it? When did they decide it? Where was this decision made? And how would they come to the conclusion that which should not be added?
Who, when, where, why, how? It's 5 W's and H.
Yeah. But which is also a question word.
but which is just not included in those. I am not disagreeing with you that which is not a question WH for that matter, but which is not included within the typical questioning of the 5 W's and the H when you're trying to get information. Who did it? What they do it with? When did they do it? Why did they do it? Was it who, what, when? Where did they do it? How did they do it?
Yeah.
Most people don't say which did they do it.
Yeah, who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? I get it, but which should have been used in that?
I'm not saying it should or it shouldn't. I think the reason why
doing this wrong for like 70 something episodes.
I think the reason why which is not included is because which. If you're trying to get information and questioning, which is probably close enough to what?
Fair.
What was the reason? Which was the reason? I don't fucking know. That was terrible grammar. Trying to make a point and then fucking derailed it that fast.
If I remember to, I know what my workaround is gonna be. Okay.
So to say, hey guys, do y'all know who it is, what's going on, when this happened, and where it's at, why we're here today, and which was the reason? How you doing? And I said your intro straight through, bitch.
I don't have which as part of my intro.
But I mean, I said it straight through. I said it straight through before I added which. I know, because the joke is like we did this whole thing. I get it. But I said your intro straight through, bitch. You wasn't expecting that shit. I'm the man. You ain't shit. Jazz is too tight. Everybody fuck with me. I wish they would. No, I don't. Because if they did, it'd be a thing. But not really a thing. Because I would squash the thing before it even started being possibly a thing.
What if it's Goku?
Well, he ain't got shit on me.
Goku ain't got shit on you? So you're Super Jiren?
No, I'm Superjaz.
And Goku might have some. No, I'm kidding.
Did I tell you, first of all, for those of y'all who don't know, I made a song called My Ultimate Form, which, not the chorus, but the lead into the chorus, Goku ain't got shit on me. It's like a rap rock.
Also, the best part of the song also has the line, Goku ain't got shit on me, repeated like 80,000 times.
At the end of the song, yeah.
I said the best part of the song.
Yeah, that's what I said at the end of the song. Shout out to my girl Lee Roberts holding down the chorus on that shit. But no, it's heavy Dragon Ball Z influence, obviously, because not only do I say Goku ain't got shit on me, but I have Dragon Ball Z sound bites leading up to the end breakdown, and then I pretend to do a Kamehameha wave to close out the song.
It's fantastic.
But what I was gonna say was it's called My Ultimate Form. If you look it up on SoundCloud, I released it for free. I was gonna put it on my EP, but then I was like, oh shit, the day that I do get famous, then like, I'm gonna end up having to answer to too many copyright issues, so fuck that. So if you look it up, Superjaz, what is it? SoundCloud is released for free on there. My dad, the only time I ever got like upset with my dad for anything that he said about my music was when he said something about that song. Cause he's an old school, saxophone is like, jazz musician with two Z's, jazz musician from like the fucking, 70s and 60s. So, I put out some fucking like rock inspired Dragon Ball Z shit. Obviously he wasn't gelling with it, but he heard it, and that was the only time that he ever had an opinion on anything I had. But I thought that the way he said it was like, okay, because I said something about something online before my last Facebook account got hacked about I'm having a breakthrough with my rapping, I'm feeling good, blah blah blah, and he said, man, forget all that, man. He's like, all you gotta do is just make sure that you study, make sure you do so and so, fuck that Goku shit. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, Daddy, hold up. Wait a minute. All right. I told him that. We joked about it, laughed about it now. It's all good. But I was like, there was a better way to tell me anything with my music than to just say, fuck that Goku. Come on now.
Speaking of people not agreeing with your opinions on Dragon Ball related material.
Segue on point.
We finally got some comments on the Bio Brawly and Super Brawly videos reviews we did from someone who doesn't agree with you. They commented on the Super Brawly review as well.
Well, I'm saying it was the same guy.
It's the same guy,
or girl. Girl could be a guy. Anyways.
It's a guy. That they were not a fan of Bio Brawly. They felt that your opinion was so wrong it should be just considered fact. That your opinion was so wrong that. Yeah, I guess a movie's so bad that an opinion that it could be good can just be factually wrong or something along those lines. It's like it's so agreed upon that this is a bad movie. Oh, that's what it was. At one point, does a movie become so unpopular that it just becomes factually bad? As opposed to, no, there's not an opinion thing anymore. No, you're just wrong. It's factually bad. Like too many people are saying this isn't good, and that's I think was the comment they made. But they go in depth with the Super Brawly one. They're like, oh, it's Max Fu, I believe the YouTuber or the YouTube person is. They go into it in the Super Brawly thing. They're like, not only is Dragon Ball Super Brawly the best Brawly movie, it's the best Dragon Ball movie, and they go into like a whole paragraph as to why they believe that.
Yeah, I definitely did not
lie. I kind of agree.
You don't kind of agree, definitely. I mean, I haven't even read the comment. But you agree. Like the fact that I was not the biggest fan of that movie. Yeah,
the fact that you hate that movie surprises me, and the fact that you think Bio Brawly is a fucking masterpiece.
A masterpiece, classic masterpiece are two words we gotta be real easy how we use these fucking words. Did I say masterpiece? I did not. Did I say good? Yes. Did I say I like it up to a point? Yes. Did I say classic or masterpiece? Hell no. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once was the last movie that I saw in recent years that I used the word masterpiece for.
Rightfully so.
You seen that movie?
No. I've just not heard a single person say anything bad about it. And I know given the subject matter, you probably shouldn't.
I don't use the word masterpiece for a lot of movies that often, or I definitely try not to, whether I really, really, really like some shit or not. Everything Everywhere All at Once. First movie that I could really think I used masterpiece for, and I was like, what other word would you use? Anyway.
Yeah, I know what movies I can and can't talk shit about, especially if I haven't seen them. Everywhere All at Once, I'm accepting for the masterpiece it is. It is on my to-watch list, but it is an amazing film from everything I've heard. Lead actress does a fantastic job.
Michelle Yeoh's the shit. Yeah. But no. What was I
mean,
say?
it was good enough for people to be like, and I'm not saying anything about like, oh, I'm a big Doctor Strange fan and blah blah blah. But it was one of those things where even some of the people I went to see the movie with, they're like, Everything Everywhere All at Once did multiverse stuff better. And I'm like, okay, you can't even enjoy this movie because you saw that other movie. It must be a fantastic movie.
But no. Going back to what we were talking about. No. Apparently it is so, and I have not read the comment that you're talking about, which is hilarious because you told me about the one on Bio Brawly with the whole, it was something like, when does Jazz's opinion become so wrong that it's fact to like, for him to be wrong? Something like that.
When does an opinion become so unpopular that it is factually wrong?
Yeah. And that was one of those you're wrong, but it was tongue in cheekish. But apparently what you're saying on the other one, which I haven't read, is like, no, motherfucker, you are wrongity wrong. And here are several reasons why. So I'm going to have to read this.
Now, that person is a giant Brawley fan themselves. And seeing the new Super movie, they even more so.
Do you know the person that commented? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought it was just like a random person.
No.
Okay. I know. But no. But I mean,
do my part to expand our viewership. Even though I don't do shit to expand our viewership. Regardless of that, the fact of the matter is the majority of our viewers are people I can connect to me. Regardless of whether or not I put forth any actual effort in making them do so.
This is true. This is true. We've said before a few times on this show itself, the biggest thing that is killing this channel is the fact that we don't promote it.
Yeah.
If we promoted it even slightly better than what we're doing now, we'd probably gain a few more viewers. Mm-hmm. But anyway. Nah, man, I just know because I remember apparently Super Brawly is like some shit. Apparently it is so unexpected. Like, how could you like you stab a knife in a old school DBZ like watcher's heart if you'd say you don't like that movie? Because I remember when I watched that movie and just how you were like you said you were like, yeah, my friend Jazz gonna watch this shit. Can't wait to show my boy this movie. And then I just say, and then this and this. Before I knew that people liked it that much, I was like, and then this, and then just the look on your face, just like, you couldn't believe what you were fucking hearing.
3 things that people know about you, opinion-wise.
Oh, Lord. I want to hear how much of this is
in conjunction with each other. Led to just like, I don't understand how this person thinks about movies. Okay. One, we've mentioned 2 of them already. You like Bio Brawley. You may not think it's a classic or a masterpiece, but you enjoyed that movie.
Yes.
So you like Bio Brawley.
Yes.
You hate Dragon Ball Super Brawley.
Hate is a strong word, but I don't know.
It is your second least favorite of the Brawley movies. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, that is. Plain White T's made a song, hate is a strong word, but I really, really, really don't like you. I don't know if that's part of it or if it is hate, but definitely do not like it. Yes.
All right. So, yeah, you hate Dragon Ball Super Brawley. And your reasoning was one of those had a better story than the other. I would debate that, but I'm not gonna. But you know, you're like Super Brawly, too much fighting, not enough plot, just too much mindless fan servicey action, no plot involved in the movie. And I'm like, fair enough. Jazz is a man of quality. He prefers his movies to have plot and seriousness, blah blah blah, like every other film enthusiast. I'm a movie watcher, you're a film enthusiast. I get it.
I feel like the way you're building this up, you're about to say something to contradict.
And then the third movie.
I think I know what you're about to say.
One of your favorite movies.
I know what you're about to say.
All time. Just classic, turn it on, smile on your face, beginning to end.
You built this up to contradict me, you son of a bitch. I know where you're going.
Wanted.
And I got rebuttal for that ass. Go ahead.
Wanted. Because you know what? It's not about the plot. It's about the nonstop action and the cool fan servicey effects and stuff and how it caters to the one's inner child. And that's why you love Wanted. But Dragon Ball Super has too much fan servicey action and catering to one's inner child for you to like. And in fact, it's terrible. The only reason it's not your least favorite Dragon Ball movie is because there's not a scene of a little kid pissing. Otherwise, it would be your least favorite Dragon Ball movie.
I don't know if it would be my least favorite just because of that, because Brawley's Second Coming, I think, is like a very lackluster movie in general.
I agree.
But pissing on Brawley's head did it in for me. I don't know if I would still rate it the lowest out of the 4 or not. But that is
it's definitely the second lowest. And when I say second lowest, people, I'm talking about rating the difference between rating one movie by O'Brien. I believe I technically gave it a 3 in our reviews. I was definitely wanting to give it a 2, but because it's a pile of shit, and I wanted to give it a number 2 because I felt that number represented it stronger than everything. But it wasn't that much shit. It did, however, shit on our expectations and shit on our fanhood and enjoyment. But I gave it a 3. However, Bali's Second Coming, I gave like a 3.5 or a 4. The bottom line is both of those movies are terrible. I just think one is more terrible than the other because one actually kind of delivers on what its title says. One actually has Brawley in it. The other's about a fucking shit monster.
If you want to see the ongoing saga that was the back and forth of these, go ahead and look and you through feogrande, that feogrande, and you can see all the Brawley reviews and us arguing throughout.
But I feel like the combination of those 3 opinions just makes you a fucking enigma when it comes to what does Jazz think about these movies.
I got rebuttals for that ass about that wanted shit though. So
I know you love it. Wait, I watched it with you, and I don't think it's a terrible movie. But I'm also a person who can enjoy movies and on record as being someone who, like I just said earlier, I'm more of a movie enjoyer than I am a film enthusiast. I am the reason that good movies don't exist more frequently. I'm part of the problem. I enjoy stupid turn your brain off movies. So yes, Wanted was fine. No, apparently not, unless it's Wanted.
Fuck out of here. That's the one. Fuck you.
You don't like fucking Dragon Ball Super, bro.
I like the Expendables.
You found it boring because there was too much You like the Expendables. Okay.
Jackass Forever. I mean, now granted, that's not linear shit, but Jackass, the whole Jackass like saga is great.
Okay.
Basketball was good for what it was.
Oh, it's a classic.
I might actually give you that. I might actually give you that in some sense because of what it is and what it represents.
It's at least a cult classic. I don't know how classic it is.
But basketball, turn your brain off. That was good for what it was.
Mm-hmm. So I'm watching a movie next week, which I'll give my opinion on it, but I'm doing it for the show. That's why I'm not giving my opinion right now on this episode because it airs next Tuesday. But speaking of classic films, The Godfather.
I've never seen that movie. I need to.
Well, that's what Bill and I are watching next week. This week was The Grand Budapest Hotel, which I finally got around to seeing.
I need to see that. It's artistically gorgeous, isn't it? Grand Budapest Hotel. You don't have to agree. I'm just assuming.
You've seen other Wes Anderson things?
Heard of the dude, ain't really seen too much.
You've seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, Isle of Dogs.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, Isle of Dogs, but
have you seen any of his Real People things like Royal Tenenbaums?
Live action, no, I have not.
Royal Tenenbaums, I hadn't seen. I had heard about it. Why I had never seen it was because at first I thought it was a Christmas movie about like Christmas trees or some shit because of that song Old Tannenbaum. Blah blah blah. The pipes and pipes are calling. I forget how the song goes. But the bottom line is I never saw the Royal Tenenbaums. Award-winning film, but. Grand Budapest Hotel, as far as I can see, has a very unique style to it based on its director, Wes Anderson.
Right.
And for that, and it was enjoyable in and of itself. I don't know about artistically gorgeous, because I don't know how, because the style they use, there's not a lot of excess on the screen for what they have. It's not minimalist, but it's not everything's extravagant, bright colors and stuff. The colors are bright enough. Everything's good enough to convey what he's trying to convey, and it's really well done. It's a really well done movie, and I believe it won multiple awards, which is why my counter to it was, well, not counter, but my response for my film I was requesting next was The Godfather, because I was like, I've seen The Godfather. Somehow Bill hadn't, because he is also also as a film enthusiast, much like yourself, which you say you haven't seen The Godfather. But like for y'all to both be more film enthusiasts than myself, neither of y'all have seen The Godfather. I have, and based on my description of myself, you can probably guess what I thought about it. But the bottom line is, I knew I had it in my back pocket once I realized he hadn't seen it. I'm like, next time this man gives me an award-winning film, I am not responding with something like Molly's Game. I'm responding with something that also is considered good. And so, since Grand Budapest Hotel had won or nominated for a bunch of awards and won some awards, I'm like, fuck it. Here's an actual classic for you, The Godfather. It's 3 hours long, so I'm not necessarily looking forward to sitting through 3 hours, but I want to give that movie a fair shot because it is a classic that, you know, every actor should see.
I mean, I should see that movie because it's supposed to be like a cinematic, like classic in the pantheon of cinema, like for decades and centuries to come will be remembered type shit. And then apparently it's one of the few movies where the sequel is better than the original. Everybody says, haven't seen any of them. I think they got 3 of them. I haven't seen
the sequels.
Because you've heard that, right? That the sequels.
I've heard that 2 is considered really good. I've heard that 3 not so much.
Same.
3 has been the most bipolar. I know I've heard people say the first one, oh, the second one, oh my God.
Pretty much.
Did you see the second one? I've never heard anybody say anything bad about the second one. I've heard some people say bad stuff about the first one. I know it's technically a fictional character, but the writer of the character also voices the character, so he probably throws his own opinions in there. Peter Griffin, not a fan of The Godfather. And everybody else in the room was like, what do you mean? It insists upon itself. What does that even mean?
The place was flooding, and then he was like, everybody has something to tell you because they're about to die. I remember that shit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of The Godfather.
I'm not too fond of The Godfather. What?
It insists upon itself. What does that even mean? It insists upon itself. I don't know what it insists upon itself means, but maybe Seth MacFarlane doesn't like The Godfather. Who knows?
That could be Seth MacFarlane, or he could have just said that just to be funny, and he actually loves it. But it could have been, or it could have been Seth MacFarlane's way of saying his issues with it, right?
I mean, he threw out a lot of random other things that seemed like they were random. Fucking Stewie running around saying he escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. Aha, funny joke. Turns out, years later, oh.
No, real quick. So, Wanted is a turn your brain off movie, yes. Compared to Super Brawly, Wanted gave me enough story to let me give a fuck. If you want to know the story and why I thought about
what if I never told you bullets fly straight? You just fucking curve it. No, that's not how it works. I'd pull the trigger and watch it fly straight, Morgan Freeman. I know you're God. And you could have just said, motherfucker, I'm God. I make bullets curve. And I'd be more
nobody had
explanation. Like, and again, I enjoyed the movie, people, but I'm to act like there's some like high thought out process into this.
Stupid.
Even its own like science is like, how are we doing this? Because we are, damn it.
That's pretty much what it was.
You might as well have said.
What was I gonna say? Go ahead and check out the movie review with the three, me, him, and Bill, 3 of us on his channel, where we are discussing Wanted that I brought to the table as a guest. There you go. But no. What I meant to say, and I'll say it here before we close out, what I meant to say on that review, but we moved past it and I kept forgetting, was how I love Mythbusters. I love everything about Mythbusters. I meant to say how stupid I thought it was that them motherfuckers actually did a myth-busting episode where they spent all their time, energy, resources, brain power of all them smart-ass fucking geniuses to see if curving a bullet was actually possible.
Why not? You watched it.
They actually, and it was like, y'all, come on,
What was the final verdict?
Fuck no!
Well, it could have been busted. It could have been proven, which I doubted it would have been. Or it could have been plausible. Because they did, in later seasons, start throwing out plausible.
Right. Do you
so
realize,
that's why I was asking. Did they come to the conclusion it was plausible?
Do you understand that if you could curve a bullet, motherfucker, that's not science or a happenstance or coincidence. You are a superhero, bitch.
Again, that's the difference. But I'm just asking if they had some kind of weird way that they found where, in theory, even though they couldn't put it to paper, where they said plausible. That's all I'm asking. I didn't see that episode.
Do you think?
I don't think so. Like, I said it from the beginning. I'm like, the whole explanation of, what if I never told you bullets fly straight? I literally said I would pull the trigger and see it fly straight. And be like, oh, that's how bullets fly.
Your arm, and instead of it flying that way, it would just go off that way.
Wherever I pulled the trigger at.
Exactly.
So I know what I think, but I'm also not a mythbuster with infinite resources and, scientific mind. So if they did some things and they're like maybe plausible, but highly, highly, highly unlikely, I didn't know. Again, I didn't see the episode. I would say busted. They might have come to the conclusion of plausible. You saw the episode. I was asking you. Wanted fan.
Well, hopefully you all will be a fan of us. You're a fan of the show. And you are a fan of leaving comments and engaging in discussion, but also a fan of checking us out on our separate socials and other places that you can find us on the internet. So,
Segway game on point.
I don't know what you just said. But anyway.
I said Segway game on point, kind of like what you did, just randomly while I'm talking.
Well, I always got to try to find some weird way to segue into this every episode, which is the times where I've been like, I can't think of a segue. Fuck it. Anyway, so if you would like to look for your boy, I am a rapper. I am an MC. I make music. So anywhere that you stream your music, you can go ahead and look me up under the name Superjaz, which is spelled Superjaz. I dropped my debut solo album about a year ago, My Secret Identity. You might have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, because I'm not so famous yet. Also, you can go ahead and look me up on Twitter under the handle Superjaz2, which would be Superjaz number 2. And of course, you can go ahead and find and follow me on Instagram under the name Forever Superjaz, the word forever spelled correctly. Where can they find you, man?
You can find me here every week, every Wednesday on the Whatever We Want podcast. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on my own channel. That's feogrande, Feo Grande. Got other shows, like I mentioned, the one where we talk about movies and stuff, including one where we had an episode recently involving Superjaz. And I do it with my friend Bill Smith, who was on the episode last week. I also have a Twitter and a Twitch. They are Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Should be streaming a lot more in the coming weeks than I have been the past few. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Nice and simple.
And it's getting to be about that time because of the fact that we can never shut the fuck up about wrestling. On this very channel, we have a monthly podcast that drops every first Sunday of the month, First Sunday Wrestling, where the podcast is devoted just to us talking about the previous happenings in wrestling from that last month. So First Sunday Wrestling drops every first Sunday on this channel. And then, of course, every Wednesday, weekly, you get this. All right. All that being said, whether it would be about, I don't know, unpopular movie opinions, whether it be about Goku and if he does or doesn't have shit on us, whether it be about
whether or not Wanted is a classic.
Whether or not Wanted is a classic, the King of the Hill dub or sub, and which is better. By this time, I should fucking know, man. I'm sorry. Fuck are we gonna talk about next time?
Monster Energy drink. Get one today. No, just kidding. Whatever we want.
I'm gonna go with it. Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adiosness. Are you trying to eyebrow? Yeah, there it is. Can I? No, I can't.
I can only do the right side. I can't do the left side.
That's the closest I can do.
You're doing it.
Ow. What?
I'm
trying to do the other eyebrow. Ow.
It hurts?
Yes, because it's not natural.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it about as well as I am. Which I guess is neither of us doing it.
No, I can do this.
Oh my god, it is hard to like look and use yourself as a reference to do it.
This one, see, I got the right eyebrow easy. The left eyebrow just ain't gonna happen. I can wiggle my ear.
Oh, lucky you. I cannot. I can move my ear if I move my eyebrows, but I can't actually wiggle my ear.
But I can't wiggle the left ear. See? Left side of my face, dude, there's not as much control. Anyway, I don't know when you stop this episode or not. That's funny.
There we go. Anyway.